For the ancient Celts, Samhain, celebrated on October 31st, was a day that marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the colder, darker half of the year. This month was roughly halfway between the autumn equinox and the winter equinox, and was one of the 4 Gaelic festivals. It is evident that it was celebrated throughout Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. Many Neolithic passage tombs in Ireland are aligned with the sunrise around the time of Samhain, and it is mentioned in some of the earliest Irish literature. Many important events in Irish mythology happen to begin on Samhain. This was a time when cattle were brought back down from the summer pastures and where food was prepared for the winter. Similar to Beltane, bonfires were lit which were deemed to have cleansing powers that were also offered protection, and many rituals were performed around these fires. Samhain was seen as a time where the boundary between this world and the other world could be crossed at ease. This meant the spirits could cross into the mortal world. Many believed that the spirits were the remnants of ancient pagan gods and nature spirits. It is said that the people at this time would try to appease the spirits to ensure that the people and livestock would survive the harsh winter months. Offerings such as food and drink would be left for them. The souls of deceased loved ones were also said to revisit their family homes seeking hospitality. Large feasts would be prepared, and the souls would be beckoned to attend. A place would even be set at the table for them. It is often said that mumming and guising was part of the festival, which involved folk plays and the act of going door to door in costume reciting rhymes in exchange for food. This is of course the origins of the modern trick-or-treat. The costumes were worn as a way of protecting the person from the spirits. This was originally done by the ancient druids to ensure that they were not carried away during the night. Divination rituals and games were a big part of the festival, and foods such as apples and nuts were used. During the 9th century, the Christian Church moved the date of All Saints' Day from May to November 1st, and November 2nd became All Souls' Day. Samhain and those 2 dates merged to create the modern Halloween. However, Samhain was used as a word to refer to Gaelic Halloween traditions right up to the 19th century. In modern times, neo-pagans and modern Wiccans have observed Samhain and use it as a religious holiday. Many of our modern Halloween traditions originate from the ancient Celts, including the act of carving pumpkins, costume wearing, bonfires, and trick-or-treating. I recently uploaded a separate video regarding these traditions and customs. I hope you enjoyed this video and my entire series this month. I'm going to continue to stick to a regular uploading schedule as I make the move to Ireland, and I hope to soon be creating videos at various locations across the island.
You don't really know much about Halloween. You thought no further than the strange custom of having your children wear masks and go out begging for candy. It was the start of the year in our old Celtic lands, and we'd be waiting in our houses of wattles and clay. The barriers would be down, you see, between the real and the unreal. And the dead might be looking in to sit by our fires of turf. Halloween. The festival of Samhain. The last great one took place 3,000 years ago, and the hills ran red with the blood of animals and children. Sacrifices. Part of our world, our craft, witchcraft. To us, it was a way of controlling our environment. Not so different now. It's time again. In the end, we don't decide these things, you know. The planets do. They're in alignment, and it's time again. The world's going to change tonight, Doctor. I'm glad you'll be able to watch it.
What's this? It's gibberish. No. It's a Celtic word. Samhain. It means the Lord of the Dead. The end of summer. The festival of Samhain. October 31st. In order to appease the gods, the Druid priests held fire rituals. Prisoners of war, criminals, the insane, animals were burned alive in baskets. By observing the way they died, the Druids believed they could see omens of the future. 2,000 years later, we've come no further. Samhain isn't evil spirits. It isn't goblins, ghosts, or witches. It's the unconscious mind. We're all afraid of the dark inside ourselves.
You know who I am. You've seen me before, but you probably don't know my real story. I've been depicted in famous murals, and I have become a symbol that represents a beautiful Mexican tradition called Dia de Muertos, or Day of the Dead. I must say it is an honor to represent such a special holiday where the living and the dead can celebrate together. For many people, Day of the Dead is a party full of colors, where once a year they can celebrate and remember their loved ones who have passed away. It is believed that the dead make the journey back to the world of the living, guided by these flowers, marigolds. The dead follow their sweet aroma and arrive at midnight to visit their family and friends and share a meal with them. On this special day, the dead can have their favorite food and drinks. That's why families put the food here on this altar set up in their honor. With a full belly and joy in their hearts, the dead make their journey back to my world to keep resting in peace until next year. But I didn't always have this job. I was born in 1910, thanks to the artist Jose Guadalupe Posada. It might come as a surprise to you, but back then, my purpose had nothing to do with Day of the Dead. I appeared in newspapers as a satirical social critic of Mexican society in the 1900s. My original name was Calavera Garbancera, which means chickpea skeleton. My original purpose was to remind people not to pretend to be someone they weren't. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, the color of your skin, or your social status. At the end of the day, we're all going to end up as skeletons. So always stay true to yourself and live the life you want. From the social critic Calavera Garbancera, I then became La Catrina in Diego Rivera's mural, Dream of a Sunday Afternoon in the Alameda Central. You can see me here with my creator, Jose Guadalupe Posada, and a young version of Diego Rivera. From then on, I became the icon of the Day of the Dead celebrations. Where I come from, though, is not that important. The important thing is that when you look at me, you're looking at centuries upon centuries of rich traditions, because the one thing I am is 100% unmistakably Mexican. Happy Dia de Muertos.